Yeah. Does research draw with chameleon? No. Is there any other chameleon? Like lighthouse is potentially a little better on the turn you play it.
Yeah, Lighthouse is actually pretty good. It's like a little caravan guard. um, $2
Oh
caravan
yeah,
guard.
pretty much.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
Lighthouse is getting bought here.
Yep. Qsenoch open it, although he has the 2/5. I would guess plan is also pretty okay
Plan Lighthouse
because
could be
yeah.
good, maybe on 3-4 or maybe a little bit later.
Yep. Other openings could be like research catapult to thin estates coppers.
That sounds good too. Yeah.
Hmm.
I assume on 5-2 you're definitely just getting a wharf though for your 5.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I guess you
Makes
could
a lot
get
of sense.
Overlord maybe. I mean, if you want to get trashed early, but wharf is just good enough that I'd delay trashing a turn to get wharf.
Yep, there's the wharf and there's the overlord, so catapult overlord for hakha. And yeah, with all those lighthouses going around, you might just skip goons and keep wharf as your terminal.
That also means catapult's going to be a lot weaker here.
Oh yeah, that's true. So this is a research overlord, I assume.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I also would. I don't think Goons gets bought here. I think Wharf is probably stronger with no action.
Yeah, that's
Oh, did Haka get
and to agree.
the the golden sombrero? Yeah, that's real
Yep.
bad.
As player two, that's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. So and A2 here, assuming it's lighthouse. Did Make already play the lighthouse as chameleon, or did he play them conventionally so far?
Let's see.
Ooh, the wharf as chameleon is interesting. Don't want to draw lighthouses dead, I assume.
I guess that makes sense. Well, it also means your Wharf is not going to miss the shuffle. If they drew with Wharf, then that Wharf would trigger a reshuffle that was still in play next turn.
Yeah, that does make sense. One thing to remark is that chameleon only works on the turn you play it, so
Yeah,
there's
so
no choice the second time.
yeah, it's going to draw 2 either way.
Yep.
But if they played it normally, it would draw 4, and then they would have a new
Yeah,
shuffle in
yeah,
their
true.
hands.
That was no disagreement, just for the viewers that are
Yeah,
unfamiliar with that
yeah, that's pretty relevant to a
concept.
lot of these cards.
Yeah, there we see the lighthouse as a yeah caravan guard. Yeah, pretty much. That also protects.
Yeah,
So also goes for the first wolf.
I'm surprised we haven't seen
So
Plan yet.
yeah, no plan, and I still think it's kind of good because with wall it's also a point worth of trashing every time.
Yeah,
So Mickey has the trouble of yeah okay goes to trigger that shuffle. Think it's fine. Didn't find the wharf though. That would have been great, of course.
2 more lighthouses makes sense.
Yep. Just the lighthouse being piled before any plan action could happen. Ooh, that's a great hit for Piazza
Oh
there.
yeah.
That makes yeah this turn very great, getting to play 2 wharfs.
Yeah, so as
Uh,
Mick, I assume you pick up another Wharf now for the next turn then.
yeah, for sure. Could be paired with a plan actually.
Yeah, you could plan Wharf Traction Estate. That sounds good.
Yep. What other cards are down there? Just
Um,
one more copper and
yeah,
the
definitely.
lighthouse, I assume.
I'm gonna guess Copper Lighthouse. They definitely have 1 more copper.
Yep. So I suppose you could. Yeah, you might just leave them there and play the wharf as
I'd be
money.
playing
That
Wharf
would
as a
get you.
chameleon.
Yeah, that would get you 10 and 3 buys.
That could be Oh, Wharf Double Lighthouse. Wharf Plan Lighthouse. Either of those sounds fine. We'll probably
Yeah,
Plan Wharf Lighthouse would be the better order. Because you're
yeah,
unlikely to be
definitely
able to
buy
get
plan
another lighthouse.
first. You could also think about trashing a copper.
He,
No.
it's interesting
Also
that he
played the
chose to
wall.
draw.
Yep. Once the remaining lighthouses. Okay. So now, you do you research the catapult here in that hand that hakha has?
I would think so. Catapult's just not an amazing card. Literally never gonna attack. Your
Yeah.
opponent's got lighthouse, like multiple lighthouses in every turn.
Yep. And they agree, and it's kind of annoying here. You kind of want to play the wolf to draw, but you probably won't hit 5 doing so.
Yeah, I would think probably just Chameleon Wharf buy another Wharf.
Yep.
Because Hakka's only got one Wharf right now, I think.
Yeah. There's only one. So you definitely want another one, but goes with Piazza. I suppose that the Overlord can be a wolf on next turn. Should they
The
draw?
Overlord's out of play right now, right? Doesn't it stay out because
Oh,
of
oh,
research?
right. It does stay out with research, yeah.
Yep, sure enough.
Then never mind.
Yeah, I think I would probably skip Piazza another turn. Like you don't need the extra action right now if all of your terminals are
Yeah.
out of play.
No terminals in play.
This
Okay.
is looking like a pretty dominant position for Mick.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not sure what Hawkeye could have done better when they had the double sombrero on the 3-4 opening as player 2.
Yeah, that is a super rough beginning to the game. Um, so now Mick has in the remaining estate down there. Doesn't draw this time. I suppose that one of them could be a lighthouse.
What do you buy here?
Yeah,
Well, you're probably
there's
going to
not.
green relatively soon. I would think
Yeah,
maybe pick up 2 golds and start greening. So maybe gold, silver here.
yeah, it's certainly hard to build a lot more than that. I, I, I was about to suggest gold research as well to
Yeah, that sounds
get
good to
the
me.
copper thinning down. Yeah,
Um,
and another potential village by being hit, when it's getting hit by Piazza.
yeah, well, Mick agrees.
Yep, Piazza doesn't hit for Haka, but the deck is in hand, although the deck is
Yeah,
quite
I
sad.
mean, Piazza wasn't actually doing anything for Haka. They drew their whole deck, and they have more actions than they need, regardless.
Yep, well, I suppose the lighthouse could have been one more coin then.
That's true.
So, but now it's 8. Yeah, well, now the Overlord and Wolf get back into the shuffle, so it's kind of hard to say whether another Wolf now does much for you. I think it's the go plan Wolf here.
Yeah, his Piazza is still less than 50% likely to hit. A lot less, actually. The only cards going back into that shuffle are Overlord and Wharf. Yeah, I don't know what you
Oh
bought
yeah,
here, Saka. Plan Wharf? No, we don't really need the Wharf. Just gold. That's it. I don't know.
just Overlord.
I guess that's fine.
Mhm, That's
I don't
fine.
think there's a winning line for Haka, if I'm
Yeah,
being
there's not.
honest.
Yeah, there's not much to get excited about. Mick also doesn't get the Piazza hit, so that makes the turn a little worse here.
Yep. He's only get one Wharf down.
And that's a lot of their money already, so might just get an extra 2 coin here for the wolf. Although
Yeah.
I could also just see playing it as a drawing card.
He's got 2 more coppers down there. I would probably just chameleon it, I think. Maybe he's counting up what he wants to buy to determine whether he needs the money.
Yeah.
Chameleoning it gets 13, which could be 2 golds.
Yeah, could be gold. I wouldn't hate starting to green, I don't think.
With 14, I think I would take Gold Province. But if I buy Province, is there anything else you want for 5 or less that adds value to this deck?
Yeah, that's a difficult proposition. I suppose, well, the fourth Dwarf only really makes sense when there are two in play. Yeah.
He draws
Like,
one and draws 2 actions dead. I'm not sure if that was worth it. I guess he just wanted to guarantee he gets back around to see the other Dwarfs this turn.
yeah. No, I would just buy plan, even though it doesn't do anything, but everything else is probably worse for your deck.
Yeah, not sure Silver is net
But,
helping. Plan
yeah.
something on the off chance you buy it. I don't like.
Well, planning seems better than nothing here.
Yeah,
I
I don't
gotta
like
say.
passing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
plan
Plan Wharf
research, I
maybe.
think.
Plan Research works too.
Mm,
I mean, there's a scenario where you might buy a 4th Wharf here. I mean, your Piazzas are hitting relatively fine. Mixed deck is, I think, majority actions.
yeah. And if you get a fourth Dwarf, you're very happy to get rid of a copper with it. And I mean, we're talking about free 3 money and a buy, so it's not like
Yeah,
doesn't
it's not like plan is super important, but it's totally free.
So we saw a Wharf hit here by Piazza for Haka.
Yeah, that's
So
nice. Hakka's
they
still
could
way
try
behind though.
yeah. I'd probably play the Overlord as Wharf Chameleon here,
That sounds good to
and then
me.
then we could plan Wharf again. For definitely needs one Wharf then, and could get rid of the estate.
Gosh, Hakka's not even hitting 6. Maybe you. What about Chameleon Scholar? That could get you to at least a gold.
Oh yeah, that would give you
Um,
10 money.
yeah, that'd be a lot, right? Yeah, 10. You could get a gold and a plan, gold and a silver. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the route back is in for Hakka, honestly. Um,
Yeah. No.
Apostoloso wants to play just Goons money, I guess. I guess that maybe that's the best thing Hakka's got going for him is try to make the game as long as possible. But
Merchant as Way of the Chameleon. That's an interesting play.
I don't understand that one.
To get gold, but doesn't get a coffer because no Merchant Guild in play. That is probably an interaction they thought
Yeah.
would go differently.
Yeah, I think Hakka misunderstood how Merchant Guild worked there. You don't get the coffer. I think he just played like a ruined
Yeah.
library.
Yeah. It used to work that way, to be fair, before the command changes.
Overlord is ruined
Um,
libraries, a new one to me.
yeah, haven't done it either, but very good Piazza hits here,
Yeah.
and Mick not so lucky in that regard. So that's the War of Chameleon, right? No,
I would think so.
I
By now, I think he's learned his lesson about Merchant Guild, so.
I hope.
Is there any use for improving the late game? I could see. Well, Hakka doesn't have
The
any
re-
researches, but Mick could consider improving a research into a duchy.
Oh yeah, but Mick doesn't have any overlords.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so there's not much. I'm not picking up an improve just to do that. You're right. So neither of them really have the combination to make that work.
That is true. Well, yeah, one has to remark that Mick's deck has a lot of more components, so he's only up 1 province in terms of points. Ooh,
Yeah.
catapult. That is.
I guess it's better than researching it. Yeah.
It's better than researching it. Gets a silver.
I guess Hakka
Ooh,
kind of needs a silver. Hakka is very low on payload.
that is true.
Mick finds
And
Wharf
now,
with Piazza. That's good.
yeah, and finds another Wharf with the lighthouse. That's great. 2 research treasures here.
Yeah, research estate will set up well
Well,
for next turn.
yep, that's great. Trash the copper.
Just buy a province, I guess. Yep.
Yep. Looks good. This time, now I think that's much more like Hakka's turns should look in terms of their quality of the deck.
Yeah.
Um, but it's still quite close in points. Although Mick will get an easy province here.
Yeah, I think after Mick
And
provinces here, Hakka's just in a real bad spot. There's no way Hakka doubles.
yeah, there's no way. Scholar can get you +7, but that's the only coin you will get that turn. I suppose theoretically there could be a world where Storm Scholar can be both played by the two overlords, but still that doesn't get you to 16.
What's Mick by here? Just province? I think I would stick with just province.
Yep.
You could plan something. Plan is still
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Yeah. Plan is probably quite close to nothing now, but still it has
Yeah.
to be better by definition. And we really like those Pareto efficient buys, I
Yeah.
think.
Mick seems to like them less.
Yep. Um, I don't know what else he could be thinking about right now.
Yeah,
Like,
doesn't need another silver. Do you get plus
how
one
does
VP?
planning?
You trash a card, but then you gain another card. I think you're breaking even there.
Yeah, on the last. Unless you trash a curse, which are unlikely to be dealt out here. Yeah, I suppose he's. Oh, storeroom. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. To secure buying another province, I
But he's also
suppose.
got two wharfs out of play. I think I would prefer to play a wharf over a storeroom.
Most of the time. Ooh, that's an interesting question. That is hard to answer.
Yeah. Mick does have 8 in hand. He's got 4 coins and 4 lighthouses coming in. So you get at least 10
Oh,
here.
okay, so yeah. That is actually true. And I assume that means Hakka wants the province here.
Yeah, I mean, Hakka, I think, has to take the gamble. Just take a province and hope Mick somehow duds with a wharf and 4 lighthouses coming in. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing how Hakka wins this one, to be honest.
Oh, and finds the storeroom, the
Oh, yeah.
game-winning move.
Yeah, that's a resign.
Yeah, that is 8 by itself, so yeah. Was probably a little over before.
Yeah,
But
that's been over
yeah,
for a while. Hakka's turn 3, turn 4 draws were just brutal. Even the turn 1 and turn 2 draw favored Mick.
that is true.
What's this?
Okay. 1-0 up. Now Hakka's going to start on a board with village.
So the only thing that triggers Tomb here, I think, is Horn of Plenty.
Uh,
So that's probably not super important. I mean, I guess asking's fine. You don't have to answer. I'd open Sanctuary, I think. I guess Haggler's a contender.
yeah, I like Sanctuary as a card a lot.
And both people can open it, because on 3, 4, you can just transport it and guarantee it's on top. So that's actually
Yes.
better than 5-2 here, I think. I wonder on
I
5-2, maybe you do pick up a Poorhouse with the intention of playing it as a way of the squirrel. I
Could
probably would.
be, especially paired with a Sanctuary that doesn't seem super harmful.
Yeah, I think Sanctuary Poorhouse would be my preferred opening for Hakha.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Um,
Groom doesn't seem super important here, nor Armory. I don't want many of those cards. You
yeah,
probably get like maybe one to trigger your Horn of Plenty, but I think you're mostly just building a Horn of Plenty engine with like Sanctuary, Council Room, Lost City.
oh yeah, that draws a lot of cards for your opponent, but There's no way around that, I don't think. I think but the transport opening just seems like, yeah, the best to me by far. Like
Yeah,
there could
definitely.
be warehouse, patent, or silver, or two of these, but that just seems worse than having a 5 on turn 3.
Yeah, I mean the reason I'd be getting silver would be to get the 5. Might as well cut out the middleman.
Yep. And you can, what's also to be said for Heckler, you can play that as a squirrel, right? And still,
That's true.
um,
Although in that first reshuffle, I don't think you'll be able to hit 5 plus Hagler, and I don't want to
yeah,
be
that's true.
hitting Hagler with less than 5. Later on, Hagler to Squirrel will probably be a good interaction.
Yep. So there's the transport for Sanctuary. Okay. Usually I like having two of those in my deck, but this time you will green probably in one turn, maybe in 2 turns. So
I still think
those
2
two,
Sanctuaries is probably good, right? It's the only real way to trash.
that is true. Yeah, I'm excited to see how whether they will. I remember reading a comment by Mick a few days ago that he usually doesn't get a second junk dealer. Um,
If you're not the type to take a second junk dealer, I guess you're definitely not taking a second Sanctuary here.
yeah, that's also my guess. Um, it's kind of nice that it provides buy, so you don't have to play a council room for each of your buys, although you probably don't need that many
Yeah, I assume you're probably mostly
with
buying one card a
Hornet.
turn here, and the rest of the gains will come off of Horn of Plenty. Maybe Hagler. I don't even think Hagler's gonna be super important with Horn of Plenty around. I think that's just the better gainer here. Um,
Yep, especially because they're all fives, right?
yeah,
So maybe you just skip Hagler altogether. I think one could still be okay.
yeah. I mean, you will have to consider eventually how you get 8 unique cards, and a card like Hagler could totally fit in that. But I don't think it'll be important for early building.
Well, that's true. Mm, trans? Yeah, no, it's
Hakha chooses transport. Hagler.
there's
Okay,
the
well, Hakha does
Hagler.
want Hagler.
Okay, gets the top target here. Yeah, Pageant. Yeah,
I
it's
can, I
okay. You
can
probably have excess coins here, but
I can see some value in
transporting.
pageant. I would have thought transport, but
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue, right? You could transport instead. Have you ever used transport as like just making use of your extra buys, exiling a bunch and then buying the last one, so you as more efficient
yeah, I sometimes
to
forget that's another
gain.
valid use of transport. I've definitely overlooked that before.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, with Horn of Plenty, it's probably quite easy to do so here, especially if you have like 2 or 3 buys with Sanctuary.
Oh, you know what? Transporting Lost City is actually real nice because you can get them into your deck without drawing your opponent any cards. You like transport 3 or 4 Lost Cities, and then you gain the last one. They only draw one card from that because you never technically gain the Lost Cities.
Oh yeah, and just as you mentioned it, that's exactly
Yeah.
what Mick is going for here.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. He exiled it and then
Uh,
top decked it. Okay,
well, I
but
think
still, yeah,
I think
still
he's
the
still doing it
check.
for the same reason: is the double transport
Yeah.
compared to just buying it. Well, A, it top decks it. I guess that's a good reason on its own. But B, it doesn't draw your opponent a card.
Yep. That's certainly, yeah, for just one extra coin and a buy, I suppose you can avoid that.
Yeah, I think you have surplus buys with Sanctuary around, so you might see that a lot.
Yeah,
Well, from Mick at least. Hakka is kind of committed to Hagler now, so Hakka kind of needs to buy things to make use of that card.
that is true. That's another point against the Eckler here. And what they cycle a warehouse. Okay. One warehouse is certainly good, I'd say,
I wonder if Council
here.
Room's pretty skippable here. I mean, you'll have extra actions from Lost City, but you could be using those on, like, Way of the Squirrel plus cheaper cards is another way to draw. Maybe you just add,
Yep.
like, one Council Room for Horn of Plenty purposes.
Okay, so another exile top deck Lost City from Mick.
4 is an awkward
So
number to hit here for Hakha.
yeah, that's annoying.
Just
Is
transport,
that
I
time to
guess.
gain the estate already? Um, I wouldn't hate it, I don't think. Like if you have a second sanctuary, you can get those estates tucked away pretty quickly,
That's true.
but decides against it and just uses Groom as draw,
I think
which is also fine.
Transport as Lost City is a pretty strong choice as well.
That is true. There's the first console room. Yeah, so the second warehouse, I didn't realize that they already had one. Seems a lot less appealing to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're planning to use it as a squirrel, I think Hakka's over terminaled. Um,
Oh yeah. And there's one Lost City exiled, so maybe can you get three here? Maybe. Like including the exiled one.
he can, I mean, he can exile 2 more, or he can buy one and take one off. I don't think he can get 3 into his deck this turn.
True. So yeah, now the
Yeah, I'm liking mixed position a lot more. I'd much prefer to have 2 Horn of Plenties over 1 Haggler.
yeah, that is yeah, very hard to disagree with. Yeah, so maybe Harker feels pressure to also get their Horn of Plenty here,
Yeah.
but then
I mean, I don't see how you. Okay, they take gold Horn of Plenty. That seems fine. I definitely would not be skipping Horn of Plenty here. Hawkeye's getting to it kind of late.
yep. And Mick drawing the deck here.
Yep.
All the states already in exile. One copper, now two.
As predicted, he did just go for 1 Sanctuary. And it's working out.
Yep. I think you could do a little more with more coppers tucked away, but then again, you would lose some tempo by not gaining the
Yeah.
first Son of Plenty or something.
I'm gonna guess you
So
gain 2 more horns here, and then exile a Lost City and buy a Lost City.
you could even exile two lost cities, spending the coffer, right?
Well, if you unexile with the 3rd Lost City, you don't get them all off the mat, right?
Oh, all right, that's true.
Um,
You can, yeah, I remember reading that the last time I played with Transport because I kind of thought that you can unexile them all at the same time, but then you actually need a gain for that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't quite work. Goes for the 9 anyway.
Maybe he's okay. Buying a warehouse and exiling
Yeah,
2 Lost Cities, or just
okay.
exiling and unexiling 1.
Yep.
I guess Mick saw Pondering Tinder's comment and just got worried about deck reliability all of a sudden.
That
Decided to top deck a draw card and add a warehouse. I thought he. I mean, I guess he does have 2 more horns of plenty, so I think he knows if he doesn't dud, he's probably gonna win this game. So it's a fair choice.
yeah. But also um oh yeah, that's a nice cute use of overdraw, although I don't think the points really matter from these states here.
Yeah,
But yeah, Haka doesn't dot probably this game, so maybe Mick is a little overly cautious with just drawing your opponent's cards.
I think Mick can set up to win next turn, right? He can get enough horns to take all the provinces, or even like 6 or 7 is winning.
How many uniques does he have?
Well, he's got like 4 horns already, right? Maybe 5. I think 4. He's got 4 horns
Yep.
plus a buy. He could take like 2 more horns and then spend his buys to add in an extra unique or 2. Let's see how many he does have. He's got warehouse, lost city, copper, sanctuary, council room, horn. That's 6. Am I missing one? So I think he needs to add 2 uniques to his deck.
Silver. Do you count that?
Oh, I did not count the silver. All right. So yeah, he just needs to add one more unique card. That seems easy enough for him to do. He's not letting in a
Yep, all good.
pile out, I don't think. Horn and Lost City are kind of low, but I'm not seeing the third pile.
Yeah, and they are yeah, too action limited to do some gaining groom pile outs.
Yeah, not really sure what you do as Hakka. Apparently, he decides he just wants to green. Kind of confused by that. I'm not sure
Okay.
how the single province leads to you winning the game.
I suppose, yeah, province gaining Horn of Plenty is kind of the same strong gains than buying Horn of Plenty, gaining a sub.
You could buy something like a Harriman or Gold that still improves your deck. I mean,
Uh,
I think the game ends when one of them pulls up the Horn of Plenty Mega Turn, and there's like a 95% chance that's Mick.
although they're not drawing here, so
Ooh, yeah, that
only
is a bad dud.
3 gains.
Is that like
I don't
every
think.
dud card Mick has left in his deck? No, he's got one more copper down there.
Yeah, and more horns, right?
Yeah.
It's 4 horns. Yeah.
Oh, his horns can't even gain any cards of value here. Are you even taking free 3-cost cards?
That's kind of tough.
You could add like a poorhouse, I guess, for an 8th unique.
Yep, they are the uniques. I totally forgot. Like, I just assumed that the horns will be gaining at least 5 for the rest of the game, but
Yeah,
sure,
that was
on those dots.
an apocalyptic draw for Mick, and I think he's still in the lead. Does
Yep.
Hakha have 8 uniques? Can they take provinces here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Hakha could take, what, 5 provinces? Oh, 4 this turn, I think, plus the one that they have. I still don't think that's winning, though. Maybe it is.
Yeah, their harem is not the most exciting LPP. But then again, how nuked will the deck be after gaining 5? Oh, can I gain 5 provinces here?
Well, so they have 1 province, and
No,
they could
yeah,
buy 1 and
only
gain 3 on
4. Yeah.
horns. Um,
No, no horn on the discard, unfortunately.
yeah, I'm not sure if 5 is enough to win, but I think that might be enough to prevent Mick from winning next turn. And then
And it
maybe Hakha
certainly
can buy
makes
another
it
province.
awkward. Makes it awkward for me because, like, if you have to gain 8 duchies, then the
Yeah,
horns are not quite the best
yeah,
way to
horns
do
are a lot worse at
that.
getting duchies. Well, let's see. So if Hakha gets 5 provinces total, including the one they've got, that takes him up to, what, 34 points? Mick takes 3
Yep.
provinces, and they're 21. They would still need to get 4 duchies? 5 duchies? Yeah, that's hard. 3 province, 5 duchy with Horn and Plenty is... I think Hakha should just quad province here. And then hope to get a province in like the like 1 province next turn from here on out.
Yeah, and it's not super unlikely with 2 squirrels out here.
Yeah, you squirrel the groom in the warehouse, gain like maybe a council room off of the province buy, and all of a sudden I think Hakka's got a serious chance of hitting province again. And if they can get a 6th province, I think they're probably winning.
Yeah, that seems hard to overcome.
Mick will get a few more tomb points because they'll be popping more total horns of plenty. Maybe that can be a
Oh yeah, that's true.
difference.
So Haka would be at 37.
Yeah, so Hakka will
So
get 3 points from tomb, but Mick will end up with at least 5.
so that also makes me want to haggle another Horn of Plenty here, just because Mick,
That's true.
yeah,
Maybe haggling Horn of Plenty is better than haggling Council Room. He does have warehouses to get through the provinces.
yeah. And Groom is potentially a cantrip as well, gaining another point.
Yep. All of a sudden, Hawkeye's back in this. That was a real bad shuffle for Mick.
Yep. Better buy 2 sanctuaries next time then
Yeah.
you don't have 5 coppers in that shuffle. So yeah, I think Horn of Plenty and Count's Room, I think, are also my favorite potential gains here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I think
Horn.
Horn of Plenty is actually better. I was thinking Council Room early, but they have 4 draw from the squirrels, plus they have a warehouse which can kind of function to draw 3 if you're discarding 3 copper or 3 provinces. Um,
Yep.
It's
And
Hakka, you
also the
might not
Horn.
even exile province. I'd have to count, but there might be a scenario where you want to keep that province as a target for warehouse to discard. They do have 5 in their deck, so maybe they don't need to.
4 in the deck. One is
Oh,
already
oh,
in the
you're right.
mat.
You're right.
So Mick will get all their horns unless they choose to not play the warehouse.
They
On
need
the
to draw
warehouse.
one more unique, right? They haven't found their silver yet.
Oh, but do you want to gain provinces on this turn?
Oh, is that the silver that's bottom decked?
Or am I making up the silver? No, right? He has it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that bottom card is his 8th unique card, right? He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4 uniques in play and 3 more in hand. Mick actually can't even take provinces this turn if he wants to.
Yeah, but I don't think that's really limiting him here. The provinces, I don't think, are the issue. Can gain next turn. Like, for sure, one horn gain will be the last horn.
Yeah.
And then you probably need to take a bunch of duchies already.
With the horns already?
And that's
I guess so. I mean, you might as
hard
well
to
take at
say.
least turn a few of them into duchies because those are good targets for warehouse. But all of a sudden,
I
this is looking
suppose
real
you
bad
could
for Mick. Hakka's got what, basically 8 guaranteed, so they can buy one more
you
province.
can buy one, and he also finds the horn, right? I don't
Oh
know if he
yeah,
can,
yeah, that'll
and
be
that's
a lot of
seven
points.
unique and 7 uniques in hand. So
Yeah,
the 2 provinces should probably just seal it for Haka. No matter what Mick does here, unless there's a miracle win we're not seeing, but horn gains can't be drawn on the same time most of the time. I know after Menagerie that's not quite true anymore, but
yeah, I'm not seeing a way around that here. Um,
no.
yeah, this game went
Yeah.
from totally winning to totally losing for Mick in the blink of an eye.
Yep. So make it, yeah, just continuous building here. Kind of makes sense.
Best he can do, but yeah, I think he's lost now.
Uh,
Seeing Hakka's hand.
yeah. Didn't he? Wait, he didn't play the poor house as squirrel even?
Wait, yeah, that's
Well,
weird.
that seems very strange.
Maybe he
Like,
forgot that he could play it his way as a squirrel. I can't
yeah,
explain
but then
why you wouldn't. Maybe he just really wanted to buy 2 grooms.
and yeah, it's guaranteed 2 provinces here already
Yep, Hakka's
for
got it. 2
like
provinces, and an estate, and a tomb point.
yeah,
Hakka can definitely put this out of reach.
and following a resign, I would yeah. I am pretty confident that that will happen afterwards. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
RVP with harems, but
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
technically one if Mick got like all the
And
harems and all the estates, but it would be
how
resignable.
do yeah, how do you do that? Like the deck doesn't Haka's deck can't that 3 times in a row. That's not how decks work.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I like grooming for the estate. I assume you just play the warehouse as a squirrel, and then
And the Hagler too.
yeah, the haggler as a squirrel. That makes sense to me. Yeah, squirrel both of them.
I don't think you want to buy the extra estate
Yeah.
and with a copper. But, well, he could, doesn't matter. But yeah,
I guess is maybe he's counting to decide whether that extra state is gonna be the key point, but I don't think it is. Not sure what else you would need to think about here.
you can even haggle a poor house instead of a copper.
That's true. I'm not even sure if Boros is better for his deck though. Um,
No.
yeah,
And but those are 8 uniques, right? Yep.
yeah. I anticipate a resign from Mick here after seeing the double province. Maybe he'll
Like,
try to play it out.
suppose could also be warehouse just to make sure. But against the sanctuary is interesting. Um, but I suppose it kind of makes sense if you assume that Mick needs like 3 more turns anyway.
Yep.
Oh, and look at that. That's not a
Mick
reach.
does it again. Wow, that is.
Not the turn he was looking for. So that is a win for Hakha.
All right, 1-1 now.
1-1. Both winning their starts, and we're going back to mixed start.
Is this best of 7? Best of 5?
It is best of 6
Okay.
technically, so but very very close to best of 7, I suppose, unless there are ties involved.
Oh, it's like best of 6 with a tie-breaking match?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you tie one of the first 6 games, then yeah, you don't need the game 7. That's the functional difference.
This is interesting. Steward Silos is the first thing that jumps out at me.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love that opening in general.
I don't think Way of Goat sees much play here with Steward around.
Yeah, not really. Obelisk also not super relevant. Summon can be nice.
I think Double Tactician with Outpost sounds really good, but that also makes Vampire look kind of unappealing.
Yep.
I think you build
The
towards
question is,
Double Tack with like Messenger or Sacred Grove as your payload. You got enough villages, I think.
yeah, there are lots of villages. There's Sacred Groves. There's Baron. I'm not sure if you need the I think you can also make the deck work without Tactician.
I like the Tactician for the Outpost turns because the draw's not amazing
Yeah,
enough here that I would want. I don't think I'd expect to draw my deck reliably with a 3-card hand. I'd much rather have an 8-card hand on that turn.
Yeah, that's true. And if you want to play the Tactician for the outpost turn, you also want one for the under turn, I'm pretty sure.
I wonder
There's a
if you
Baron
still.
opening?
I don't get the Baron opening. I would have. I mean, you can buy Silas turn 1. You don't want to use it turn 2, but I would still take the Silas, I think.
Yeah, certainly. And I think regrets will be had
Yeah.
quite soon.
Do you still get a Vampire? I could see a Vampire having value early, but given the deck you're, I think, ultimately getting, I can also see skipping it here.
It will be interesting to see, like, you could take the Vampire here and then, yeah, just draw aggressively with the Steward for the next couple turns, and then your Vampire or Bat can do the remaining trashing.
Yeah, like, I think you get off, like, probably 2 Vampire plays and a Bat trash before you just trash the Bat again or something.
Yeah,
I think that might be worth it.
Seems reasonable to me. Also, yeah, I don't know if you ever want to play with a Baron in mixed deck, but then you might.
I guess I can see Baron being good payload for the double tack deck. I still wouldn't pass up Silos for it in the opening.
Yeah, I mean, then you would probably keep the estate around, but Mick decided to trash it.
Yeah, so I guess Mick is not looking to get Barons.
Yeah. The summon, I don't really see what you're gonna summon. Duplicate, maybe. If you hit 5 the next turn, for sure, but.
Yeah, I guess Summon Duplicate's not bad. If you could double Border Village, I could see that.
Yeah, but can the deck, if Mick does trash the estate, I suppose on a lucky draw, he can hit 6.
So what else in Mick's deck? It's
It would have been estate, Coppers, and Stewart.
Wait, Mick has an estate?
Yeah, well, he couldn't have summoned and trashed the estate last turn. So he would have.
Oh, I thought we were contemplating summoning for Mick's next turn.
Oh yeah, that
I could see
reasonable.
Mick summoning Duplicate this turn. Now you probably just discard with the coppers and buy the Border Village normally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. You could gain it with the border village, I suppose.
Yeah, that might work.
And then potentially even hit 6 next turn with
Yeah.
the duplicate played. So we see the vampire for hakha.
Yeah, I actually think Border Village for duplicate might be a pretty good opening here. You're guaranteed to hit 6. You discard 4 coppers, and you'll have a hand. You'll draw your duplicate. You'll have a hand with like Steward. Oh, that only hits 5, doesn't it? Maybe you don't take duplicate.
Yeah.
Um,
So now we need a really destructive hex
yeah,
for hakha to.
that
That's
is not a
not
destructive
it.
hex. I mean, I guess it kind of hurts. Maybe if he doesn't draw his Border Village, he can't play his Sacred Grove.
That's
Um,
true.
yeah, I think on closer consideration, Sacred Grove definitely beats out Border Village. Or sorry, Sacred Grove definitely beats out Duplicate for that particular turn.
Yeah, it will be. Oh, but
Oh, well, it gets
just,
anyway.
just draw it like a pro. Earth
That's a
gift.
nice Earth Gift, I think.
Yep,
Yeah, I like the
duplicate.
Duplicate
There we
now.
go. But
My
hakha
first
can be.
inclination would be to draw with the Steward to get the coppers off the top of your deck. But with Silos around, that's actually where you want the coppers. So I think you just play the Steward for money.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So, do you gain the tactician here then already with the border village?
I don't know.
I think you can you can like use Steward to trash and play as the tactician on.
I don't know what I want
What?
yet. E-Honda wants Tactician. Honestly, any of the 5s except Vampire, I think look good for Mick. I could see an argument for Sacred Grove or Outpost as well. I'd be really happy if maybe you get the Outpost now, and then next turn you get a Tactician, play the Outpost, and then play the Tactician on your first Outpost turn, which sound really good to me. I'm not sure how guaranteed that is, but with Silos around, there's probably a good chance you could line that up.
Yeah, you possibly could. Yeah, I also kind of want to hit 6 with my duplicate down. Maybe
That's
the
true.
tactician isn't all that helpful in that regard, so maybe you can delay it a little further. But
I'm always a little confused about when to get Tactician, because I know I eventually want 2 Tacticians, but sometimes you get it too early, sometimes you get it too late.
So, Haka already has an outpost? Yeah, okay. Gained it from the vampire. So, yeah, he really needs the border villages, I think, in their deck now. Got a second steward from the Earth Gift. So, yeah, and those border villages are really hard to gain with vampire, so I'm not sure where their deck is going.
Yeah. Yeah, with
And
Border
that is a
Villages around,
late
maybe Vampire is
move.
not great. Because you don't want to get more of the 5s than the number of Border Villages you have where you can't play them all. I think Vampire Skip was actually probably the best play here after all.
Okay, so now we get a nice tactician turn. And yeah, Haka's deck has a lot of cards in it.
Yeah.
And they aren't super exciting cards.
I think it might have something to do with the Baron opening.
It might have something to do with the Baron opening. Yeah, those silo treasure openings, especially those that can provide tempo as well.
Yeah. Like
are
Silos
super
and any
great,
card that
I
can
think.
pass its states just sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, to me too. And I think Haga will learn a lesson today, at least. Looking at his deck right now.
Hakha has
He's
felt
probably
behind in
doing-
all of these. I think they only won the last one because of that bad dud turn from Mick. Mick was in the lead the last game.
True. trashing is and playing your treasures is good. That's a great
Yep.
lesson for this match so far. That's a nice boon.
Yeah, I like getting those boons with Sacred Grove because they're the ones that your opponent can't get.
Yep.
Most of the time, it feels like the boons that Sacred Grove gets help the opponent more than they help you.
Yeah, I think that makes not only practical but also theoretical sense that a lot of the boons are great at the very start of the turn and
Yep.
not that good later. And 3 border villages here is
Yeah, this is triple border village with duplicate down.
yeah 3 border villages. That's super good. Oh yeah, and the coin actually enabled that too. So
Sacred Grove, interesting. And the
yeah, I
second
don't think you need
tactician.
it before you play the next tactician, but
Yeah, I was wondering the amount of draw Mick has. I mean, maybe he's confident in his deck. I was thinking maybe double border village and just a nobles for draw to make sure I find it all.
well, yeah, I like that.
It's 1-1 right now.
Yep, 1-1. So what did Hakha achieve on their turn? So far, just drew cards, didn't trash any. Can gain 1 border village here. I think that's the second.
Summon
Oh,
duplicate.
goes for the summon
And buy
buys the
silver.
silver.
I don't understand that.
So that doesn't look like a double tactician deck.
Yeah, Hawkeye's just going to lose the border village split badly, and I don't want to be playing with nobles for village purposes.
I guess his assumption was to gain 2 border villages next turn with the summon duplicate.
I mean, with
You will
Outpost and Tactician, they might not even be around by the time that turn rolls
Yeah,
around.
that's the point. That's the problem. That
Yeah.
can make even pile over 2 turns here. That will be difficult, probably, but he will definitely lock you out of any fun you can have with your deck with that 1 border village.
Yeah.
Yeah, you draw with a steward here, right? Every time.
I would think so. Well, yeah, you get
The
extra
coin,
action, so if you find a Sacred Grove, you're pretty happy, I think.
Yep. And it's not like you can trash. It's not like you can
You could
make
trash
use.
with Way of the Goat. Then you have to
Oh,
discard the
no,
duplicate.
no. Yeah, you need to discard a card to tactician, so then I don't think you need to worry about drawing your second tactician. You will probably draw your deck next turn, especially with silos around.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to dud next
It,
turn. He's got stewards, border village. Like if he finds coppers on top, he discards them to silos. If he finds border village and steward on top, he draws. What's the 8-card hand that doesn't get him around through his deck? I'm not sure that one exists. I mean,
ooh,
granted, given last
that was
game, maybe
nice.
Mick could be the one to find it, but I'm pretty sure he'll draw.
It was a nice display why you play with tactician here. Had an outpost turn with 3 coppers and then the 5 extra cards.
Yeah, that's true. Having a lot of cards in the starting hand is very good with silos around.
Yep, and that's a pretty. Yeah, well, doesn't matter too much in the end, I guess. But make sure to find the Sacred Grove here. Hakha does get another look at the state of his deck, which will probably just make them sad.
Surely Hawkeye's got to be getting tacticians now.
Yeah, but he just bought a second silver, right? You don't do that if you plan to get a tactician.
Yeah, I didn't understand the last turn buys at all. Skipping tactician here seems really bad to me.
Oh. I kind of like that. He needs to put the silver on top, or what is his idea? Or does he want to discard everything? He top decks everything.
Okay.
Oh, he forgot that
I think
silos exist.
yeah, he's top decking the copper for silos purposes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I think Mick just gets the. There's gonna be 1 border village left for Hakha. That's not looking great.
No, it isn't. And even got 2 copper trashes in there. So yeah, with a 10-card hand, he will have that in hand. I don't think there's a way to that. Like, even Farka gets to stack the deck.
Yeah, yeah. I think Mick's deck is just impervious to duds at this point.
Yep. And now we see the sad duplicate with the one remaining
Yeah. They got to summon the
gold.
duplicate just in time for there to be only one border village left.
Yep.
I guess you
At
you
least.
could buy and duplicate nobles, but then you're passing up on the duplicate. Or sorry, you're passing up on the border village.
Yep. And you can't really pass
Yeah.
on that. Oh, look at that. Stack the deck now has the 6 coin outpost hand, double nobles. That's actually not
Yeah.
bad. It's not
That
gonna
that was a
save you. What?
surprisingly good hand for Hakha.
Yeah. The Sun's gift made it possible, the ordering again.
Can
Doing a
Mick
lot more for
pile
the other guy.
out? I think there's probably some conceivable series of draws that could cause Mick to pile out this turn with the outpost turn. I don't think he goes
Yeah.
for it though.
Yeah, you get like quad growth here probably and then get the estates in the outpost turn.
Yeah,
But
or take like 4 duplicates now, play them, and then duplicate the rest of the duplicates and get to estates.
oh yeah, that's also the way.
Yeah. My guess is Mick just continues building and maybe takes like a province or something for.
Yeah. Ooh, there's
I,
also
mean, I guess
messenger.
Mick doesn't even need to be that worried. I don't think Hakha can empty piles, even if Mick can.
Yeah, you can. I think, yeah, just making sure that you have a functional turn the next time. That's all you need here.
You gonna trash 2 more coppers? Yeah.
Yep.
What's this? Triple nobles. Double nobles grove. Nobles double grove. I'm not sure. Could just be province and sacred grove.
Yep.
Summon 3 messengers. That'd be interesting. They are worth 2 points.
Hmm.
Nick likes his groves.
Yeah, you could messenger some messengers just to rub it in that you have 8 villages? Only 7. 7 or 8 villages.
Yeah, that's true.
The opponent doesn't. The opponent doesn't. I suppose the nobles could be potentially necropolises, but it's not like you have draw, so
Yeah,
it's
Hakka is just very much dead in the water.
so got 2 nobles and a sacred grove. That probably isn't enough to pile out here.
Yeah, quad nobles, triple sacred grove seems a bit undoable. That's what 31 coins. I don't think that's the buy you take if you're trying to pile out. But I don't think you needed to try. Ah, Mountains Hex.
Ooh, let's get another silver hakha. For free this time. No? Oh.
Yes, this is semis.
I'm still really sad that all boons aren't optional.
Yeah, same. Same.
That takes away the nature of boons. Sometimes they get conflated with hexes.
Yeah, I think boons might be the most annoying part of Nocturne for me. I honestly like hexes even more because at least they just kind of consistently suck most of the time.
Yeah, well, not when you buy curse villagers, then you flip a coin whether they suck or
That's
they
true.
just do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
Every once in a while, Locust can trash a curse.
Oh yeah, that's also interesting game design.
I have seen. I mean, war can be a boon occasionally if it trashes the silver that you didn't want. The war boon can get rid of the mountains hex.
The Mountain X, yeah. So what do we have here? 16 coins and a duplicate down.
Probably,
Province and double nobles.
yeah, this makes sense.
Seems safe.
I think Mick's got to pile out next turn. 2 nobles and then either duplicates or estates or groves. All of those sound doable to me.
Yep. Especially with the outpost, right? That's
Yep.
just easy.
Maybe
Don't
even
even have to think
messengers.
about it.
Yeah. Um, Hakha has decided to help Mick pile up.
Yep. So does he? I suppose the looted could have made this a good play. Well, even then,
Yeah, I mean, with with diluted, Mick just like takes like 3 more provinces, and then Hakka's still dead.
yeah. Estates are 14, aren't they 16 and 7 buys? Or am I
Messenger.
thinking-
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, oh,
exactly
I
that.
see what you're saying. No, that's
Oh,
4.
no, no, no.
That's
Yeah, right.
16, right? Yeah, you're right.
Isn't it 12 plus 4? But the duplicate, all right, there's a duplicate
Oh,
one.
yeah,
So,
yep,
yeah.
yep, yep.
The groves are cheaper, though, than that. And they also. Oh, I suppose they got miserable, so they do need one more point.
Well, the estates will cover that, and looks
Yeah.
like they've got it.
The messenger would also cover.
They don't even need the
Yeah,
outpost turn.
nope. Um, yeah, playing for the dot when your opponent played tactician is always difficult, and especially
Yeah.
when your opponent has a good deck. But yeah, so I will note that down as a win for Mick. Um, Keeping with the spirit of first players winning their starts. Yeah.
All right. Game 4.
Game 4. Going back to Hakka start.
Yeah, Hakka doesn't like resigning.
Apparently not, no. So what we got? Another silos.
Ooh, hello. Wharf Silos Villa. This should go very fast.
With stonemason even. So yeah.
Yeah.
Turn 7, turn 8.
Yeah. Stonemasoning estates into coppers might actually not be bad in this kingdom. Um, you're going to have stonemasons anyway,
Okay.
and copper's a lot better for your deck than estate is here.
That is true.
How do you
What do
open?
stonemasons do on villa boards? Stonemason. Poor houses, I mean. Could be stonemasons into poor houses as well.
Oh, yeah. Poorhouse can be good here with Villa. You can get the coppers into play first. There'll be awkward once Villas run out.
There will be some funky pile out very fast, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's no point thinking about Villas piling out, because by the time Villas pile out, the game's probably over. Um,
Yep.
Stonemason, Villa, Poorhouse. Those could all empty very fast.
Enclave, probably not the best. Do we have the monkey? Could be maybe useful on like a stonemason play or something.
I gotta win that patrician split to get those orchard points.
Masoning for 2 poor houses. That is. If they poor houses collide, that's actually good, right? Poor houses always hit 4.
Yeah, you could play Poorhouse by Villa, play the other Poorhouse, and then you'd have
I
5.
suppose it doesn't. Well, it does work on every draw. Yeah.
Poorhouse and Silos also have a nice interaction, because you get a lot of the treasures out of your hand.
Oh yeah,
Granted, Worf probably nixes that.
that is true. That makes you think that the 3 coin buy should not be a silver, actually.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm opening with. I know all the cards I want, but I don't know what order I'm getting them in.
Yeah, that's certainly tricky. You don't really want to lose this as player 1, I don't think.
Yeah.
So you probably want to figure out the optimal order and yeah, optimal gains first, then the order, I suppose. Masoning for poor houses is indeed a very exciting play, at least.
Wait, what am I missing? How do you mason for 4 poorhouses here?
Yeah, well, twice.
And are we talking about the opening still? Is that an?
Yeah. Open stonemason turn 1.
Oh, I see. I
Open
see. On both turns. Okay.
stonemason turn 2. Do you hit villa and 5? Potentially, yeah, right? You can, if two poorhouses collide, first one hits 4, the villa gives you 1 coin, and then the second poorhouse gives you 4 more coins, that's 5.
Yep. Mick does go with the
Yeah,
boring
silent.
opening.
Yeah.
Well, it pays off. Or for Hakha at least. Hakha's hit 6.
Mm,
On 6, I think you just
they
take
do.
Artisan, and then you can top deck a Wharf.
Yep. That's probably the play. Make is thinking about silos here. 3 poorhouse colliding 9. Yeah. I'm definitely with Aku here on the poorhouse strategy.
The Poorhouse thing sounds more fun.
It's You have a 16 card deck, yeah. I think I prefer the silos double poorhouse opening, I think, than to the um 16 card deck. That's true. Um I don't actually know if they're listening or not, but yeah. Donald
Yeah,
is on board, also on board, so
I mean, the boring
a
double silver
forced,
has worked, but I would like to see the Silos double Poorhouse play.
yeah, the four silver openings. I haven't seen that in a while, I think. That's
They both get
not that
Artisan.
often. Pretty rare. They managed to top deck their artisans each, so that's also pretty good.
Yeah, these are gonna be. It's good. It's good they both got lucky. One of them getting
Yep,
by Artisan, top deck Artisan, and the other not would be pretty decisive in a kingdom this fast.
that is true. Oh, that is a nice play. Maybe Hakha missed that. That
Ah,
opened that
yeah.
villa
I
immediately.
certainly missed it. um,
I don't know. It could have been the case that they didn't draw. Yeah, just didn't draw for coin. Yeah, got to need those pool houses to hit villa. Heard it here first. Oh yeah, so that's the first stonemason buy.
this is gonna run so fast. You can Stonemason estates into 2 poorhouses. Those piles will run out. Villas on high demand. Stonemason just always runs out.
Yep, so you probably can even four pile
Yeah,
or something on a good draw.
Wharfs are already
So
almost out on turn 7.
that's not great. So now we will see what Mick does on 3. Does he want the poor houses? Or
Silence, I think, is pretty good copper trashing here. Because with Villa around, you can just play whatever few coppers are left, buy a Villa, get the poorhouses down, and then draw on your next boards for next turn.
yeah,
I think poorhouse could be playable here.
yeah. To add on the list of confusing terminologies, that's called the copper trashing.
Yeah, Villa's like Crypt. It's a temporary copper trasher.
So now you have 8. You could.
Uh, I'm glad I'm not playing
Yeah,
this. You'd have to think a lot about what you're buying. When commentating, I just get to spitball random ideas.
yeah, that's true. You could also. Yeah, you probably want to gain a warfare, right?
What's the
Not,
patrician
not.
split looking like? It's 2-2. Hakha can take that patrician for 4 points. So it could be stonemason double wharf, patrician artisan, patrician wharf. I think if you're playing the poorhouse thing, you probably open with silos.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Turn 5, just one more wharf. I would guess. Yeah, I think I prefer the Dwarf too. And then second wizard to play that stonemason, and then silos is a third option.
Alrighty, I'm back. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already piled out while I was gone for all of 20 seconds.
Almost. Now we witnessed the awkward play, buying a patrician here.
Alright, so they won the patrician split. I
Oh,
think that's the key pile here.
and he has a fan in Psychomatic who also wanted to see those
And Humble Castle, that's
purchases.
interesting. I wasn't even thinking about castles here. Yeah, I mean, the patrician was powerful.
Yeah, we'll see whether that matters. Hey. Yeah, they probably both get the Orcards on Wither and probably also both get it on Stonemason. Although if you're the one to pile out and your opponent didn't do much crazy stuff before, you might just get a few free Orcards there that the opponent doesn't.
This is definitely a kingdom where I am not upset having an early points lead because with pileouts being as easy as they are, the points lead will matter a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, that's true. It's not the kind of pile out where you just score 50 points. So just being up 4 or 5 could be nice. The commentary is being recorded for YouTube, yes. So now you think about stonemasoning or just buying the villa? Okay.
They just buy it, looks like.
Yeah. And now he wants to buy another. I'm actually not sure if that's true. But
What does Mick do here?
yeah, so now what are we? We have it's already turn 8. Only one pie running. Yeah. I'm definitely interested to try out the other
You
way
could
to build
stonemason
here.
for Villa, or you could farmland your stonemason into Villa.
You could, but then do you really need to play gain a villa if you don't even play stonemason?
Oh, I actually have no idea if that's any good. And, you're actually not unhappy triggering otherwise bad shuffles with silos around because you're mostly top decking lots of coppers, which are actually kind of best on the top of your deck when you have silos.
But they don't have silos so far.
Oh, that's true. Well,
That's true.
yeah. Why don't they have silos? Silos just seem like a key buy here. Um,
Yeah. I also prefer the Dwarf to the Emporium, I do think. So this again is a stonemason for me.
I guess if you get
Yeah,
3
for villa.
Emporiums, that is 10 points. Yeah, I would think Mason for
I
Villa.
Yeah, I would do that too. Do we know whether it's 5 to 5 on Dwarfs or whether
Let's see.
we got more?
It looks like it's 5 to 5 on Wharfs. You sure? Let me double check that. No, I'm pretty sure it's 5-5. They each bought 3 Wharves individually and then Stonemason for a pair of Wharves.
So now we see the humble castle in action, making you not draw any Dwarfs here. Of course, it doesn't have to be the castle's fault, it could be something else. more points being gained here.
Emporium.
So I suppose now we find out whether there's a sixth wharf in mixed deck. Okay.
Hakha does have
Overdraw.
a large points lead. I don't think piling out will be easy for Mick.
Yeah, also the overdraws not
I'd be a little
quite.
surprised if he has a win. I mean, given these decks, I guess it's not impossible. The pile out he could totally have, but a pile out and 12 points, maybe
Well,
with an
the
Orchard.
villas are easy 4 points, just gaining one. Stonemason also easy 4 points. That gets you up to 15. But yeah, then you would need.
I guess if one of the piles is Emporium, that's enough points. Can he pile out Emporium and Villa? Like Artisan for an
Maybe if you
Emporium,
stonemason
Stonemason
artisan in
Emporium.
2. But yeah, that doesn't look like.
Yeah, this looks pretty far from a pile out still. I think he's still got a turn or two to
Yep.
go.
Yep. Now I suppose artisan gains an emporium.
I would
How much
kind of want to
point-
gain the Emporium and take 2 for the Emporium split, but then I mean Hakka's in serious pile out territory there. That's probably too greedy. Yeah,
Yeah, that
can Hakka pile? I'm not sure if Hakka can pile next turn, but if he can, I'm not sure if there's a way for Mick to take a points lead here that would prevent that.
yeah, it's very hard in these decks to estimate like how much the other person can output.
Yeah.
Like super depends on what they draw, and if they draw a lot, then it's just it's not quite all the gains,
Enclave.
but it's very close to all the gains that they can.
Enclave is interesting.
Angler would surprise me, but the gold is certainly nice for stonemason.
Yeah. All right, we got someone else who wants farmland for Villa now as well.
Yeah, I hadn't considered before that the farmland isn't just a path to province, but also a nice stonemason target. So
Silos might actually not be bad here. Mick does know that they have 2 coppers coming up.
true. What else is down there? 2 coppers, a patrician, and a
I don't know what the last card is.
silver.
Oh, yep, you're
They
right.
opened double silver because they, like stop cards in their deck that aren't poor houses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no one for Mick. Can Hakka win with a good draw?
Mick could also gain 3 poor houses here, right? That's an option. Like he has 8 buys going around, stonemasoning.
Oh yeah, that's
Last
4
8.
points pretty cheap.
Yep. You could mason for artisan. That's also an interesting play. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about these stonemason pile outs, as if
So-
your opponent can get a lot of them, they can gain a lot of them.
How much does Hakka need to pile out? It's taking 4 villas costs you 8, and the 5th one's 3 more. It's 11. That's 5 stonemasons left, so you'd need they could pile it with 19 for sure. Probably less than that with a good artisan or stonemason play. That seems within the realm of possibility for Hakka's deck.
Do you overpay for artisans now or for Emporia, as Mick? They had
Probably not Emporia. That just seems way too risky. There's no way Hakka can't pile out 5 villas. Or 7 stonemasons for that
5
matter.
villas, but also needs a point then.
All the wharf buys, villas, and most of the porthouses virtually empty themselves. Yeah, stonemasons also
Yeah,
tend to empty
also,
themselves.
yeah. I'm not saying I agree with the play, but now that you trash your artisan for 2 Emporia, I think that goes into that direction. There's also no other 5 costs anymore in the kingdom, so if you... Well,
I guess getting rid of the artisan makes sense, because it's not too valuable once dwarves are out. Could have been 2 duchies. That lowers piles less, although it's kind of bad for your deck long term. I was thinking of Stonemason Villa, but maybe Stonemason Emporium is now better for hakha. You need, 7 to get 2 Emporia and a Stonemason. Then maybe you Stonemason something else into 2 Stonemasons. That's 4 left. You need like 6 coins. Yeah, I think there's a realistic world where hakha piles out Stonemason Emporium.
yeah, and the stonemasons do provide enough points already on their own.
Yep.
Ooh, there's the pool house. Hooray.
I think Mick was hoping for a dud here with that play. I think he was setting himself to pile out if hakha fails. It looks like hakha's got it, though. This looks like a good enough hand to pile out, most likely. He can artisan for the Emporium, and then he needs, let's see, artisan for Emporium, maybe trash something for 2 stonemasons.
It's a little strange play order here, playing the patricians before your
Yeah.
wharf. You want to have the biggest search base for the last wharf. Villa and Emporium doesn't win, that's only 2 points. So you need 2 estates with that or something. Is there one in hand? I suppose you might... Oh yeah, you can still miss an artisan and dwarf. Oh yeah, you can even artisan this Emporium and then Mason the Emporium. That's true.
Yeah, so let's see if I got this. Artisan for the Emporium, top deck like an estate. Play your villa, turn 2 wharves, or turn the wharf into 2 stonemasons, turn the...
Let's go for villas.
Oh, to do
Just
villas.
stonemason.
Oh yeah,
Stonemason
I see.
wharf.
Yeah, I see. You
Villas.
empty the villas. That's easy on stonemasons. You just turn
Yeah.
wharf and Emporium into villas, and then buy 2 estates. Yep, that makes sense to me.
Yep. Looks like he sees it.
Yep.
Even gets a province.
Enclave. Get the Enclave. Oh.
Oh, enclave. No. Yeah, no, not the most style points, but a good pile out nonetheless.
All right. Player 1 wins again.
Yeah.
And I believe in
So-
quarterfinals, it was 2-2 with hakha. And Hakka's last quarterfinals match. Player 1 had won all the first 4 games, and then hakha won their very last game as player 2 to win. We'll see if they can do that here.
Yeah. But overtime is also getting a little bit more likely. I actually don't know if they just cure the game 7 winner wins the match, or whether they have to do more overtimes.
I think with game 7, it's just in the case of a tie, player 2 wins.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
If
that.
I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what it was for quarterfinals at
growth.
least.
So this looks like a vampire opening with
Yeah, I think you'd
hostelry
probably
and
skip
two
the goat trash.
2 horses. Yeah, good
You-
trash instead.
Hostery for 5 horses would be nice.
Yeah,
It's
I
basically like a
thinking.
stampede. It's like a stampede that doesn't top deck.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad draw for Mick.
I think I would take Vampire and then Alms Hostery next turn to get 2 horses.
Wait, then books. There's no draw. There are 30 horses on the board. Also, Way of the Mole draw.
Can you build a draw the X deck with Way of the Mole, Herbalist's Payload?
Yeah, well, we also got conclaves and pixies. But yeah, I like playing with vampire here, especially in the first shuffle. I think.
I wonder if what if you just really do Alms Hostery turn 1 with that many horses in your deck? You're kind of guaranteeing you hit crop rotation turn 3 or turn 4, and then you just play like crop rotation money. Add like a bandit.
Mm, that's true.
Mick
But also
trashes.
open bandit, trash their goat, and then that's
Engineer.
fascinating. The engineer to me. Like on your 5 hand.
Does Mick want a lot of Ironmongers? Maybe Engineer for Hostery? You can already do the little Hostery trick with Alms anyway.
Yep, you can. Suppose you have to decide whether you prefer trashing with goat or do arms shenanigans. So they both like the engineer in the opening.
Engineer did not seem that important to me. I guess Ironmonger's a good card. You can get a lot of those.
It is. I suppose you. Yeah, if you trash copper over state, you do have Ironmonger's draw too. And yeah, it doesn't seem like the worst when you also have crop rotation to keep your estates for a bit.
What do you take here?
So Mick really doesn't want the 5 costs here, looks like.
I'm not seeing the engine here. The lack of draw seems pretty decisive to me. I think I would seriously consider just get to crop rotation ASAP, get a bandit, and then start greening.
It doesn't seem like the worst. He has no score. The fountain is the only other method of scoring.
Like if you're not building the engine, then the more actions you have, the worse Ironmonger gets for you. Because in a money deck, the Ironmonger is much happier seeing copper or estate or something. Yeah, you could get vampire
That's
into
true.
bandit. That's true.
And I agree with Warfred. That's why I wanted vampire, cause yeah, it's just a nice way to get banded. Thin a little faster in the meanwhile.
How are you drawing if you build a double?
Draw 5 goals in the herbalist.
Mole sounds so gross. It's like a real discounted minion deck.
Yeah, that's
I would be impressed if you built the like mole conclave like herbalist thing, but I don't believe it.
yeah, that is very tough. I would say it's just building a minion deck with no trashing, where all your minions are discarded, and then in the end you have 3 coin and a buy.
And I mean, with a 3-card hand, how likely are you to be able to line up those conclaves effectively?
Yeah, they all have to be molds.
So I think make
Oh,
your
and they
trash or
yeah.
copper by crop rotation, surely.
Ooh, got the Earth Gift.
Huh.
Yeah. So they really prefer the 4 costs.
I really want crop rotation. I want crop rotation a lot.
Yeah.
Mick just wants to trash his estates. I mean, I guess you can still trash estates and get crop rotation.
That's true. Do you get the bandit here? Would be interesting.
Who has the
Yeah,
bat already?
two
Hakha does.
Hakka's the bat. That was the question.
Yeah, Mick could consider vampire or straight into bandit even.
Yep. It would be interesting to have a match where there are two vampire games and Mick wins both by not getting it.
Yeah.
But
This is not an amazing
yeah.
kingdom for vampire, that's for sure.
Yep. Gets another engineer for 5.
I sure hope he's not going for the draw to X, but I can't with any confidence say that you're wrong to guess that he is.
So now we will see the first mole here, I would say.
Yeah, that seems like a hand worth molding.
And I would say a lot of copper trashing on the other side. No. Okay.
No copper trashing.
No copper trashing. Alright.
Is it really worth gaining an
Nope.
extra horse if that horse is getting stuck back into your deck with another copper that it has to draw?
Yeah, I also think that's better to trash the copper.
Like, the little
Draw.
Hostelry interaction, I think, is kind of inherently draw neutral because you have to discard a card to get a card that draws you one card.
Well, you've already drawn the copper once, right? That should
if
that
you-
be in your calculation?
If you can't really bank on doing it. If you happen to have extra coppers, then you can get some extra draw. But you can't build a deck around it because you have to
No.
draw the coppers to get the draw. It
Yeah, that
only
is true.
it only makes sense if you already got the surplus coppers and are getting rid of them.
Yep. Yeah, with a bet, just not using a free trash just means
Yeah.
you're spinning a few wheels. But I guess the way of the mole engine is also a lot of spinning wheels, so maybe.
Yeah, he couldn't play the goat to trash, but you can trash 2 cards with bat, and he only trashed 1. To answer
Yep.
Patio Doris' question.
Ah, yeah, Pedro. Okay. Let me see. So what do we get here?
Hakka's already gotten rid of all of his estates. I've been wanting crop rotation this whole time, but now he's got 6, and not much point in getting it at the moment.
Yeah, crop rotation would be a little sad.
Uh,
Do we really get 7 horses? Do we really get-
Apparently. Okay, surely you're vampiring for a bandit now, right? You want payload.
I want to get rid of those coppers.
I don't think horses will pile just because they do go back, and we only have 3 hostleries left to gain them with.
Ooh, and yeah. Gotta get a bandit to have more treasures to discard to the hostelry. Although, also one has to say the horse fun ends very soon when the hostelries are
Yep.
piled. You can trash them with a vampire, but you can't get them out, so it's no more fun allowed. So also no bandit, just another ironmonger gained.
Interesting. What is the long-term payload for these decks?
So far it's engineers.
Ironmongers and hostleries will probably pile. Not sure if there's a third pile that'll run, but maybe you could like take the fountain points and then like rush down pixies or something. I
Yeah,
think there's like a
picnic
theory.
sounds fun.
In a world where they were both trying to pile the horses out, I think it would still be theoretically possible to pile the horses out, but it's getting 3 9 discard hostelries to take those last 18, or 3 6 discard hostelries because there are 18 horses left. Um, but
Yeah, but there are only two hostages.
yeah, I I highly doubt that in a game where they're not trying to randomly pile the horses that the horses would pile. Um,
Yeah, so how many engineers are still flying around? Three. So
at some point, they've got to get payload that's not just more horses.
no, spin, 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 spin.
Well, if nothing else, that last hostelry is going to get taken, and then they have to do something else.
They have to. Then they go into mold stuff. But I have to say, on release, I definitely underestimated the amount of treasures you can discard to hostelry in a game. That
This is a good
is
kingdom
that.
for it with engineer and alms around. This is definitely a place where you do that at least a few times.
Yeah, that is true. You could stop here and trash 2 coppers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hostelry is one of the better $4 villages. Probably not even the best of Menagerie though, with Village Green around. Hakuchi is questioning something. Oh, wait,
Trashes
oh,
a
that is
horse.
okay. Yeah, that's a valid question. Why did they trash the horse? Um, do they want fountain
What does
points?
he
I,
loves the copper? That has to be a fountain
I,
in play.
okay, yeah,
That is
I don't have a
why
good
are you
answer.
discarding? Yeah. Why is there no card where I can discard horses to gain coppers? Seems the preferred way here.
Yeah, what they really need is just a card that gains hostelries out of the trash and then discards horses for coppers, so that they can just spin forever.
Yeah, the reverse card. Just
Mm-hmm.
yes. Yeah. The interface for playing other cards as a way is
Yeah.
sometimes a little confusing. And here we go move on. Mauling things. Hitting 6 and 2 buys.
So maybe they mixed deck does have an herbalist and some conclaves. Are they really doing the mole engine? I guess they are.
Yeah, but without crop rotation as well. Trashing estates, playing the goat here.
Well, at the very least, we're gonna see the fancier decks. That's for sure.
And an engineer, right? Gotta get. No,
Apparently not.
that's interesting. Like, what does the border village do in your deck here?
Well, I guess you will need a lot of actions because most of those conclaves will end up being terminal silvers if that's your main payload.
I guess, yeah. I thought most of the conclaves will be just non-terminal molds, drawing further conclaves.
So once you've stopped using engineers for gains and you start trying to green, where's the money coming from?
I have no idea.
I still think the crop rotation to bandit to province is thing. Surely
That's
green's fast enough that all this stuff
interesting,
just.
interesting point to stop, right? Just 4 horses in hand in the middle of the shuffle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were
Mm.
thinking there.
And now
Yeah,
they
Hakata doesn't want to part with the horses.
he doesn't love this. He just trashed a horse over a copper. I don't think he loves them.
So
That's
maybe
very
he's keeping the horses for bat food because he
yeah,
doesn't want to
yeah,
use the
yeah.
coppers.
He needs yeah. That's
I don't
good.
know.
Then it is yeah.
Horse's mole is nice, I guess. Get to keep it.
Yep. Ooh, gets the engineer. So we are at least close to piling the ironmongers now.
Yep.
Takes a new herbalist. Did he lose one? No.
You just
The
got
other
an
one just
old
won the
one.
mole. It's mold. It's a conclave. Gets pixies. The pixies could run.
Yeah, I
One
mean, given the
night
decks they're playing, pilots definitely seem
forest.
plausible.
So look at that deck hitting 8 money. We're having only played 25 action cards so far. It already produced 8 coin and 0 buys.
Let's see. There's 3 engineers left. Who has them all? Mick has 2, and Hakha
Mm,
has 1. Herbalist is his second card played. It's looking like a mole though.
yeah. Doesn't wait. He only had 1 buy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. So there's province. So okay. So do we see the engineer trashed here? Yep. For 2 pixies. That is
That's
and
dangerous.
again the horse just
So Mick has 2 buys in their deck and 2 engineers. That's 6 gains. Maybe even more if they pop
okay.
Pixie for the right boons.
Yeah, there are 8 boons. We will see. Earth gift. Was it this game or last game the Earth gift was
Let's
used?
see. Earth. Earth's gift has been taken by Mick already.
Okay,
Forest
so
gift is still
for
down there.
oh, another gaining boon.
Swamp's gift seems takeable here.
Okay,
Those engineers are apparently all on the bottom. I think he's still gonna find them though.
so I guess yeah, this time we get the real herbalist.
So now engineer
So
for 2 ironmongers, mole the
so now
ironmonger, and you are almost
is it
certain to find it.
guaranteed that you find the other one?
Why is he trashing the engineer for the pixie?
Oh yeah, it's it right. If the other engineer's down there, you can just mole to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, he's got it now.
You got it. So that's an interesting one that goes the way of first player. Unsurprisingly.
All right. So
So
player 1 has won 5 out of 5 games so far.
yep. And match point for Mick on the break. I suppose playing with 4 landscapes probably makes the first player advantage a little bit higher as well, because the kingdoms tend to be more powerful.
That makes sense to me.
Probably not by much though, but ooh.
Speaking of
King's Court
powerful.
upgrade. Hermit gains.
Oh my lordy.
Ooh, and Magpie as gains, yeah, so
Hermit
oh,
Magpie?
King's Court fifth place as well. Well, if we haven't gotten headache before, now's the time to spot a pile out that requires gaining 15 different cards.
I want the magpies here. If nothing else, they're good targets for displace and upgrade later on. They won't, you don't want more treasures around, but they'll still be helpful.
Yeah, I think Hermit Magpie opening
Yeah.
seems very inoffensive. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the other options? I guess on 4-3 maybe Sinister Plot. I think that's still worse than
Yep.
Magpie.
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever open double Hermit over Magpie Hermit. Yeah, and here also, you don't really want to upgrade the shelters anyway. Well, they could become pawns. It's not that bad, but yeah, it still seems like opening Hermit is. Can you? Only if you have the
Yeah, they
Necro in
both
the
have the
right hand,
option.
right? Yeah.
I think I'd still take Hermit Magpie over Double Magpie. I like the idea of trashing my shelters.
Yeah. I,
If you got the 4 copper hand with the Necropolis,
this
would you take
this
upgrade?
is
Maybe count? Probably count.
Yeah, it was a nice summon. It could have also been a mule to get an upgrade, but I certainly don't hate the Madman at the Sinister Plot.
Yeah, Sinister Plot Madman looks quite nice too.
Yep, for sure.
They
Probably
could
better
they
than.
could have gotten Annex Madman. Oh, yeah, that works. That
Ooh,
works. Because that doesn't count as a buy.
so that's also just another Hermit gain within.
Yeah, I assume that there's no question you take the Madman here, but I guess there's a question of what you gain. Maybe gain a Night Watchman and discard everything. Um,
Hmm, a Fisherman.
oh, so Mick does not take the Madman.
Nope. So here it's Hakha. There's a Magpie down there, right? But never mind, he can't draw. Uh, just gets another Magpie.
So Mick buys a 5 here. Upgrade. I'm torn between upgrade, displace, count. I guess upgrade's probably the best. It works nice with the magpies.
Yeah.
I could strongly consider though with Madman around getting like a count first to get a really nice count trash in.
Yep. And the Count, I suppose can gain duchies to be displaced as well
Yeah,
into
that
King's
might
Court
not be bad late
if you
game.
if you have a really thin deck. But yeah, I recently learned that you don't really need much extra gains with displays. You just displace one thing into the other and then back and
Oh yeah,
gain everything, and then
yeah. Displace is a nice payload card.
it's super good.
Although I
Yeah.
think the consensus is it's still slightly less good than Butcher. At the very least, it's very close.
It's very close, I think. Yeah. Especially on the more high power the board is, I think the more I prefer the displays,
Yeah, I would
even
agree with
though
that.
milling doesn't work, but well, that's a good point. There are some ways to autopile magpies, and one of them is, yeah, just gaining.
Looks like they don't quite have it. Oh, maybe they could with trashing Overgrown Estate. Because they have another
Yep,
magpie down there.
there's another magpie down there.
Yes, if they draw their magpie here, does that autopile? Is the last card a draw card? I think not.
Also, would need to gain a pawn here, I suppose, which they do.
Oh,
Oh,
I guess they can autopile it, can't
yes,
they?
yes,
Nice.
yes. There it goes. Can't take a buy though here, but that's Gaining 2 magpies is way better than a buy here, I'd say.
You could play
Oh,
Necropolis, play pawn for
oh
card
yeah,
plus buy.
yeah, you can. True, that's true. Card buy. That seems like the play. And
Magpie is so swingy. So it looks like we're on the way to a sixth player one win.
yeah, that seems Hakka's game to lose at this point. What's he thinking about? You certainly want the last 2 magpies, right?
Yeah, I would
No.
think Necropolis, then pawn for card plus buy, take the last 2 magpies, then you can trash your hovel. Probably the next buy for hakha is an upgrade, given how many magpies he's got. Oh, he didn't take plus buy from his pawn. He just took plus action. I don't like that as much.
Yeah.
I guess he could. He could play the Necropolis, gain a pawn with the Hermit, and draw back to it.
Yep, that's true. That is, I suppose, could even be better. To get the value out of the... Oh, that is strange.
That's... Why does he need the extra coin? Surely he's not buying province.
At least you hope he doesn't. Nope.
King's Court. I mean, King's Court's a good card, but I think you want a card worth King's Courting in your deck first.
I suppose you can King's Court the Hermit for 1 turn here. To gain maybe a Fisherman even first.
Really? Okay, so Psychomatic likes the King's Court. I'd much... You could even... I don't know, I was going to say take a Displace and gain a King's Court, but it actually has no cards that can function as... Wait, maybe there is a way you could gain King's Court. So you Hermit for a Fisherman, so that when it costs 2, then you draw it and discard something so it costs 5, then you displace it into King's Court.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the card without a Madman, though.
Yeah. I can dream.
So just King's Courting a Magpie that didn't find any treasure, but the other magpies do the job.
Do you want more stuff
Yeah,
from the
sure.
Hermits? I guess Fisherman for 1. You're definitely taking 1 Fisherman.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if more pawns
you-
is good for you.
Can you draw the Fisherman and then gain another?
I think he has 1 Magpie down there and a copper.
Yeah,
So-
so the Magpie is on top, but it doesn't draw the Fisherman. Oh, but it top decks the Fisherman, so you can gain another one then.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice play. Oh, does he know the Magpie? Yeah, he does know Magpie's on top, because he saw it with this other Magpie.
Magpie at split is indeed 9, as we can see 8 in play and 1 on top of the deck.
Yeah,
And,
so... Yeah, I like the double Fisherman play.
Yep. That would mean for me that I would gain a displace with that.
But how much money will he have? So he plays the pawn, I assume, for a card coin. Gains 2 Fishermen. He'll have 7 to spend. 8 to spend, because he'll draw the copper. That'd be Displace and Silver? Silver's probably better than nothing. This is not bad either. This
Okay.
gets you 2 5-cost cards. Upgrade Displace. Double upgrade.
Yeah.
Definitely 1 upgrade, I think, for sure. The question in my mind is second upgrade or Displace.
That's 2 upgrades. It's fine, you can upgrade into this place quite easily.
That's true. I would love to find the upgrade for King's Court.
Yeah.
Probably play
Also-
Magpie first, because that will also let you know if the upgrade's coming up as a target.
Yeah. Does Mick have a king? The other king's card?
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Mick also has an upgrade. Mick's not in a bad spot, but he does seem behind.
Yep. And stopping here is certainly not what you want to see.
For Mick, I would assume you just gain Fisherman, turn Hermit into Madman. Huh, Mick is going for more Hermits.
Mm,
I don't...
wants to keep one hermit, but that, yeah, just means he skips the buy. First, there's always, like on a Madman turn, you can do a lot of gaining here, so Hakha has to be careful that he doesn't leave any pile
That's true.
out. Excuse me. Um,
Although Hakka's deck is much better set up to pile out than Mix's, because Hakka's got just 9 Magpies as targets for those upgrades. Just upgrade into more upgrades into more upgrades.
that is true.
I guess Mixed deck can, with enough actions, Hermit into Hermits into Hermits.
Yeah, like I mean, if Mick
Bottom deck
Mick's
both of the
Magpie drops a
upgrades.
bunch. Yeah, he really loves the copper macro.
Yeah.
He doesn't just love the horses, he also loves his mules. Very.
And he's playing the Hermit as a...
So he wants the pawn? Or what does that mean?
Why did he play the Hermit as a mule?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah, Madman is tempting, but a king's court is still a king's court.
Yeah, I could consider taking the 2 madmen. You can even buy Annex. You have enough money that you'd barely be in debt. And then just like
Yeah,
upgrade the duchy
I-
or displace the duchy
you
later.
could. Yeah, that's actually not quite bad. Not bad. You can king's courts by displacing things only when you have a displace.
Okay, but now imagine the power of the deck with Sinister Plot and Madmen. You draw your deck like 3 times over. With the amount of gain and play stuff here, overdraw here seems really good.
Yep.
Like with enough extra draw from
For
like
sure.
Madmen and Sinister Plot, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some weird loop with like King's Court and Displaced that at least runs long enough to 3 pile.
Okay, auto like use the plot immediately. Does he seems to have a clear idea on what he wants to do this turn?
He's clicking through these cards really fast. He seems to already know.
Yeah. Like
Can he pile? What are the piles? Hermits could
the
potentially
hermit.
run.
Hermits are easy to pile.
Maybe pawn and then buy an annex. That's still a lot of gains. He's already
That is a lot
played
of
6 of his
gains.
magpies. I thought the best scenario for pilot for Hakha involved upgrading magpies into upgrades or displaces.
For sure.
The Necropolis finally gets trashed by the upgrade of all cards.
And you king the upgrade here, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I don't think it's the worst to just get rid of 3 coppers.
I think if you can draw some of your magpies, I think I'd rather turn a magpie into a displace or something. I guess there was a good argument. I didn't even realize he had 2 King's Courts already. There's some argument, I guess, for trying to draw on and find your King's Court to get a triple King's Court play in.
Yeah, for sure. He trashes the madman into
The magpie.
the hermit into poacher. That does not look like a pile out. Also, you king the pawn over the fisherman?
Yeah, I don't understand
That
why you king the
is-
pawn. That was a weird choice.
And he uses them. If he uses two as a buy, there's at least some merit. Otherwise, that's just very strange. Very strange.
He used two of them as terminal fishermen.
As a budget fisherman without the action.
Yeah.
Uh, no, we got a $4 oasis. But hey, we drew the displays.
Hakha might need to take a province here. I think on a good day, mixed deck could pile. Mick has a madman in there somewhere that I'd be worried about.
I'd be very worried as Hakha because this turn is not very productive, at
Maybe
least compared to what it could be.
maybe you take a fisherman, turn a copper into an estate, and buy a province.
Can't can't take a fisherman, you discard a copper.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
you
He had
could.
an unresolved poacher play that I was not accounting for.
Yeah. Okay, another displays. I like that.
Yeah, that seems like a good play to me. Oh, this is dangerous territory. Those are low piles.
Those are low piles. So now does Mick find the madman? If it's the top card,
I mean, Casey Night Watchman is great for next turn, but how sure are you that you get a next turn? Can Nick pile here? Pawns and hermits are both quite low.
yeah, Mick has two kings card total, right? And there the other, yeah, so
Yeah,
close, but can't king the king's court.
yeah. If you get like Madman off first, then King's Court on King's Court, I think Mick could have viably piled out. With this draw, maybe not.
This draw is pretty, yeah, sad. That probably means I'm not playing the madman this turn
Yeah, I would say my Madman.
and hope Harka's next turn is about as good as this one.
Do you mean as Mick try to go for it?
What does go for it mean? Go for next turn or
I don't.
what?
I don't think Mick can pile out this turn.
Um, yeah, probably displays upgrade or something. Maybe needs another king's card, but I don't know if he can hit 12. I suppose it's not that far off, but also not quite there.
Looks like he's got it. Trash the Necropolis by King's Court Displace. I think, and that's
He
a
could,
top deck tournament. Sorry, a top deck Madman, isn't it?
yep, he could
Yeah,
also
yeah. I
buy
like.
Annex, get to the madman, but it doesn't work with a. Oh well, can you get? Yeah, that I wouldn't hate that. Get two madman, then next turn you can
Yeah, you could buy
up,
Sinister Plot and Annex, although I don't think this game's going long enough for the plot to really matter.
and next turn you could upgrade your magpie into a displace, and then King's got the displace with two madmen. That's pretty easy, and then you
Yeah,
can.
yeah. I think plausible lines here would involve buy King's Court and Displace, or just buy Annex and let that Hermit turn into a Madman. Probably just buy single Annex, even though you can afford to. Okay, so he takes the,
So
the
this
King's Court
King's
Displace
Court
route.
line. Oh, is it turn over?
Oh, this is a sad
Yep.
turn for Hakha.
What do you even do there? You leave the King's Court, right?
Oh, I don't think
You
I draw that.
no. Then now you get two pawns, make the pile super easy, or do
Yeah,
you displace? I guess you might even think about displacing the King's Court here.
you could play the Displace's Way of the Mule 3 times and buy a King's Court. Oh, he actually did it. He did that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Um,
Okay.
no, I think I'd rather keep the king's court on top.
So now I would be very worried as.
All right, so as Mick, you probably think for a bit here about how you pile out, because I think there's a very realistic scenario for Mick doing that.
Yeah, but you probably need a few more cards, right? You can't start with kinging displays or kinging upgrade. Well, I suppose you could start with king upgrade.
I assume it starts with king's court and king's court, and then where does it go from there?
Yeah, like king the magpie here would actually be quite nice, but then again, you might want to upgrade something.
I don't know. I really want the displace to be one of the three cards like King's Court. And I might even leave the upgrade around to gain another King's Court with the displace.
Does
So,
he have a third king's court? Or does Hakha have?
let's see. Oh, he does. Yeah, Mick just bought another King's Court, so he does have a third King's Court down there. Um, even
Yeah, but
so,
also quite a few coppers, right?
yeah. So maybe you King the Magpie because that's most likely to draw through those coppers.
Yeah, and then you can still up.
Yeah. This does seem like a good place to think for a bit.
But
Fisherman
so
before King's Court? I wouldn't do that.
the target is pawn and hermits, right? And that is already
King's Court's good pile
quite
here as well with some displace plays.
true. Yeah, yeah, that's usually the moment where I don't really think it. I'm just going for the pile out, saying it has to be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if either the King's Court pile out or the Pawn Hermit pile out existed here.
Yeah. And they all didn't go for any scoring, so just an annex afterwards is good
Yep.
enough.
Yeah, I think Hakha really should have taken that province 2 turns ago. Or even Annex.
So I think I upgrade a fisherman to hermit here, and then necro into pawn, and the other one I don't know yet.
I was thinking
But
like upgrade into King's Court, upgrade Night Watchman into Displace. Or sorry, I mean Displace upgrade into King's Court, Displace Night Watchman into
Night
Displace,
Watchman
draw
into
that back up.
displays?
What?
That doesn't.
You can displace a Night Watchman into another displace an
Good.
upgrade into a King's Court, draw all that, and then you get another triple displace play. I feel like that probably leads to a win. Maybe the Hermit Pawn thing is easier. I've just been thinking about the King's
Aku,
Court stuff.
yeah, Akuchi here won't draw a magpie. That's the only magpie Meg has is in play already. Yeah, sad. But yeah, the displays, especially you can also displace just coppers into pawns. So there we have the upgrade. Ooh. I would trash the fisherman first. Maybe it's actually more valuable as a fisherman than a hermit. That could be the case.
Interestingly, you just trashed the
Okay,
copper
just
there.
trashes
I would have
coppers.
I would have thought upgrade the pawn into like a hermit or something.
How many King's Court plays do you have left? Two, right?
Yes.
Could be hermit and displace, I suppose. That's 6 gains. And that would mean there have to be 4 more gains afterwards if you go for the hermit pawn pile. Which means you need to draw the pawns before the... Oh no, hermit is also a gain. Both are gains. So
Yeah. So
I
if
think
you,
that's just it, right?
I
You
think
draw
I
3
think you
more
should have
cards.
it. He's got enough actions and enough draw, I think, to draw back to the hermit he gains.
You do have 10 actions and you
Yeah.
have 2 fishermen and pawn, so you can draw 3 cards.
So if you like hermit for 3 more hermits. Oh, he's
Oh,
okay. So he's going for the
he's
King's
got...
Court pilot after all.
Yeah, that also works. I think you can king the pawn now.
You're taking an upgrade here or displace? Probably displace, I would think.
Displace, or could also be just a pawn.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah, but
So you play for card coin here, I think, and then you just need to find Hermit, King's Court, Pawn. You don't need the pawn. Oh, you do need the pawn. So you could hit 7 coins, but you need a second buy to buy King's Court and Annex. You win the tie.
do you need the coins? I'm a little surprised by that.
He's got the win out right here. Hermit for 3
Yeah.
pawns, buy King's
Yeah.
Court, Annex.
Yep. That seemed like a game that was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If Mick ties, you get 0.5 points, and that's 3.5. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Oh, right. Yeah. It definitely looked like a hakha win for most of the game, I would say.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think there was points there where Hakha could have scored some points to be safer.
Yeah. Also, some underplaying of the turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. No annex, no, just duchy.
Buying a duchy when you can annex for duchy.
Very sad.
Very
yes.
sad. All right, so Mick takes it 4-2.
Yeah. That means we will see Mick. Oh yeah, in the finals.
Do we know who the other? Has the other semifinals been played yet?
The other semifinals hasn't been played. I also don't know if it's scheduled yet, but I assume there will be commentary as well. And then next week we will see Mick face off.
All right, well, good match.
The winner. Second play, yeah.
See you all around.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for commentating with me, J Nails.
Oh yeah, same. This was good. Peace.
And